Hello, and welcome back. So this is a continuation on our video lecture series for chapter 2. As you know, it is quite a long chapter. We are still in cell structures and functions, but today we are continuing with the rest of 2.3. And if you're ready, let's get right back into it. So we're still on the same learning outcomes. The learning outcome for this is still focusing on describing animal tissues and plant tissues and also explaining the following types of cells and tissues. And we're here today, we're going to go into, this is the mind map, we're going to go into this part, connective tissue, which includes bone, cartilage, and blood. So let's go into 2.3, part 4, connective tissue. When we talk about connective tissue, we are referring to tissues that connects, supports, binds, or separates other tissues and organs in the body. So, connective tissue, tissue yang menghubungkan, connects, menyokong, supports, mengikat atau melekatkan, binds, atau memisahkan, separates other tissues and organs in the body. Connective tissues are made up of cells embedded in a non-living matrix. So, kalau kita tengok macam tisu-tisu muscle, apa semua tu kan, dalam satu tisu tu, cuma ada itu sel dengan cytoplasm dia, dengan plasma membrane dia, and whatever else is helping the whole function. But when it comes to connective tissue, dia bukan sahaja itu sel, dengan dia punya nucleus, dengan dia punya cytoplasm, dengan dia punya plasma membrane. When it comes to connective tissue, it also includes the extracellular matrix. So, cecair yang melindungi sel itu, ataupun kalau bukan cecair, it might be a solid matrix. Okay? Mungkin matrix yang di luar daripada sel itu adalah pepejal. Okay, in any case, if it's under connective tissue, when we describe the tissue, we are describing cell and matrix outside. Okay, so that's something a little bit out of the box for you. The three types of connective tissue that we'll look at are compact bone, tulang keras, hyaline cartilage, and blood. Of course, these three are not the only types of connective tissue in your body. You have tons of other connective tissue, but these are the ones that we want you to know at your level. Okay, so let us go into the first type, which is compact bone. Tulang kita yang keras. Okay, so when we talk about compact bone, let's first talk about its structure. Compact bone is tulang. Okay, you already know it's tulang, but if people ask you to describe the structure, this is how we would start. We would start by saying the compact bone is a mineralized connective tissue. Dia adalah connective tissue yang ada mengandungi mineral dan keras. So it has a hard matrix. The matrix is strong and rigid. Remember, matrix is the stuff that is surrounding this cell. Bahan yang melindungi sel kita dalam connective tissue adalah digelar sebagai matrix. So, compact bone has mineralized connective tissue. It has a hard matrix. It's strong and rigid. And it consists of living cells with large amounts of matrix. Okay, semua sel ini hidup dan dia ada banyak matrix di sekeliling dia. It consists of osteoblast, which is a bone-forming cell that secrete bone matrix. Osteoblasts are this connective tissue. And the matrix of a compact bone is made up of collagen fibers, which is an organic material, and inorganic mineral salts such as CaCO3 and CaPO4 too. Okay, I'm not sure what is the proper way to pronounce these materials. So, if you can go and Google what is like the proper name for this, macam CO2, kamu tahu itu adalah carbon dioxide. Ini saya tidak pasti apa nama dia. Jadi, kalau kamu ada cukup internet yang cukup kuat, coba try test pergi Google. Okay? And then continuing. Okay, this is another diagram that shows the structure of compact bones. Hard mammalian bones, or compact bones, are hard mammalian bones that are made up of repeating unit called Haversian systems or osteon. So, tulang keras kita terdiri daripada unit-unit yang berulang yang dipanggil sebagai Haversian system ataupun ostion. Haversian because it is named after the scientist that observed and discovered this. But we can also call it an ostion. So, satu bulatan besar yang banyak-banyak lapis ini kita gelar sebagai satu ostion. Dan dalam tulang keras kita ada banyak ostion bersusun rapat. So each of these ostions, each of these Haversian system has concentrated layers of the mineralized matrix deposited around a central canal, which is called the Haversian canal. So semua ni, yang kamu nampak bulat-bulat di sekeliling dia ni, itu adalah matrix yang sudah mengeras dan disusun dalam bulatan membentuk lapisan-lapisan macam ini. Okay, so there might be a word that you don't quite understand here, which is the word canals. What does the word canals mean? Well, when you think of the word canals, maybe you want to think of Venice in Italy. Okay, so it is a city in Italy that is on the water. You move around in the city in these gondolas. They don't have big roads. They just have these canals. Or you can think of Giethoorn, which is in Netherlands. So this is also a city or more like a town that has canals rather than roads for you to move around with. Okay, so kalau kamu nampak perkataan canals, tolong faham dia adalah terusan. Okay. Keep this image as we continue to learn about the compact bone. We're still in the structure of compact bone. There's more to know. So the central canal or the Haversian canal is the biggest hole in the middle of each ostion. And it will contain the blood vessels, the lymph vessels, and the nerves. So saluran darah, saluran limpa, dengan kamu punya urat? Yeah, okay, nerve is urat, right? Will be in there. Okay, so this thing that is marked in green down here, okay, these things marked in green down here, those are the central canals. Okay. So the Haversian canals are also interconnected with other Haversian canals via Volkmann's canals. So, satu Haversian canal ni akan berhubung dengan Haversian canal yang lain dengan menggunakan Volkmann's canals. So you see this thing that I've lined in purple here, that is the Volkmann's canal. Okay. Right, so each Haversian canal is surrounded by concentric layers of lamellae and concentric rings of osteocytes. Lamellae is what we refer to as the hardened matrix. Okay, matrix yang sudah mengeras itu kita boleh juga gelar dia sebagai lamellae. And lamella memang dia bersusun dalam bentuk bulatan itulah. And concentric rings of osteocytes. If you see the word concentric and you are scared, you can either Google what is the meaning of concentric, or I can just tell you concentric means bulatan-bulatan yang berlapisan. So this one is one layer, one ring, 2 ring, 3 ring, 4 ring, concentric rings of osteocytes. Okay, so apa itu osteocyte? Osteocyte is a cell. Osteocyte is the osteoblast cell that is inside the lacuna, which function to maintain the bone matrix. So dia adalah sel di dalam, dan fungsi dia memang untuk menghasilkan matrix, menghasilkan benda keras yang menyelubungi dia. Dan bila benda keras itu sudah kena letak di persekitaran dia, dia punya fungsi adalah untuk maintain, jaga. Okay, jangan sampai matrix itu rapuh. And you see here you have two spellings for lacuna, L-A-C-U-N-A-E ataupun L-A-C-U-N-A. In science, usually kalau hujung dia A-E ataupun A, kita boleh tukar-tukar lah. Tapi kalau sebaik-baiknya dalam satu karangan kah, dalam satu perenggan kah, dalam satu ayat kah, Kalau satu kamu guna ejaan EI, belakang pun gunalah ejaan yang sama untuk konsistensi. Okay, so yeah, so osteocyte is the cell that creates it. Lacuna is the hole where the osteocyte will sit. The bone cells, osteocyte, will remain alive, and once they have completely surrounded by the hard bone matrix, they are called osteocytes. So ini kita macam kadang-kadang kita boleh bertukar sikit lah. Pada level kamu dia tidak tekankan sangat. Tapi osteoblast itu yang macam dia masih menghasilkan matrix, tapi dia belum diselubungi sepenuhnya. Dia tidak ditutup sepenuhnya oleh matrix. Bila dia sudah ditutup sepenuhnya dengan matrix, kita panggil dia sebagai osteocyte. B for baby, C for mature cell. Okay, I mentioned this briefly a while ago. A lacuna, perkataan lacuna, is a space surrounded by the hard matrix which contain the osteocytes. Dalam erti kata lain, dalam matrix yang keras ini, akan ada satu lubang yang mengandungi sel. Lubang yang mengandungi osteocyte sel itu adalah lacuna. That's it. And these lacuna are connected to one another and to the Haversian canals by a system of interconnecting canals known as canaliculi. Dalam arti kata lain, dia, satu lubang ni, akan berhubung dengan lubang-lubang yang lain menggunakan terusan-terusan kecil yang dipanggil sebagai canaliculi. Okay? Okay, so canaliculi are fine tunnels, terowong kecil lah. Fine tunnels means terowong yang kecil, terowong yang halus, that connect the lacuna with other lacuna and with Haversian canal. So, kamu nampak dia punya garisan dia tu. Okay? All these fine lines in this diagram are canaliculi. Setiap garisan yang nipis ini adalah terowong-terowong kecil yang menghubungkan lacuna dengan Haversian canal. Apa guna dia kalau dia sudah menghubungkan? It's important for transportation of nutrients, waste, and gas exchange between osteocyte. Ingat, dalam Haversian canal ada kita punya saluran darah, saluran limpa. So, untuk dapatkan oksigen, untuk dapatkan zat-zat dalam badan, okay, dia akan masuk melalui saluran darah. Zat-zat dengan oksigen tu akan melalui canaliculi, pergi ke satu lacuna, ke lacuna yang lain, ke lacuna yang lain. Bahan buangan daripada osteocyte, waste products from the osteocyte, whether that is nitrogenous waste, whether that is carbon dioxide, will be transported back to the Haversian canal through these canaliculi. So, dari terowong-terowong kecil ni dia hantar bahan buangan. Bahan buangan masuk ke dalam darah atau masuk ke dalam limpa dan dibawa ke tempat yang sepatutnya, organ yang sepatutnya. So that is what is meant by this second bullet point. Important for transportation of nutrients, waste, and gas exchange between osteocytes. Distribution of compact bones. Mana kita boleh jumpa tulang keras? The skeleton of most vertebrates. Okay, vertebrates, haiwan yang bertulang belakang. All of vertebrates have skeletons, and you can find compact bones in the skeleton. Macam tidak banyak lagi kan mau explain. Mana lagi? You don't know where to find bone. Okay. Right, okay. So this is just continuing what I was saying before. Kalau kamu bayangkan central canal ataupun Haversian canal, itu adalah terusan yang besar. Canaliculi is like the terowong ataupun terusan yang lebih kecil, jauh lebih kecil. Okay, so these pictures are from Venice, Italy. Kalau banyak duit, ya sudah pandemic, pergilah bercuti-cuti. Okay, so this is not somewhere you can travel to. This is your compact bone as seen under a microscope. So kalau kamu tengok betul-betul zoom in dalam kamu punya tulang keras, kamu boleh nampak ini. Kamu boleh nampak satu ostion atau satu Haversian system itu betul-betul nampak bulat. Di tengah bulat itu ada Haversian canal. Dalam sini ada darah dan saraf dan limpa kamu. the lamella, which is each ring of this, the canaliculi, the lacuna, boleh nampak dalam sini. Perforating canal, I think this one is referring to the Volkmann's canals. Okay, why do we have compact bone? What is the use of your tulang? The function of your compact bone is first of all for skeleton. For your support. The compact bone supports your body through the skeleton, which consists mainly of bone tissue. It forms a supportive framework giving shape and rigidity to the body. Dia menapung badan kamu. The second function of compact bones in our bodies is for locomotion, untuk pergerakan. The bone tissue will form a system to which the voluntary muscles are attached. If our body just has muscles but no bones, it will be very hard to move. It would be very hard to even stand, let alone run or jump or do whatever it is you want to do with your body. The third function of compact bone is for protection. It serves to protect the soft and delicate organs of the body, such as how your skull will protect your brain. So it's there to protect your softer and more delicate organs. Okay, continuing. Function number 4 of your compact bone is for the manufacturing of blood cells. Your red blood cells are manufactured in the red bone marrow, which is situated in the spongy tissue at the ends of long bones. So example of long bones is like from my wrist to my elbow. This is one long bone. I think this is the radia and the ulna. Okay, kalau kamu mau tengok kamu punya skeleton, punya gambar aja, kamu boleh pergi tengok. So in your long bones, okay, at the ends of your long bones, for example, around here at my elbows, around here near my wrist, this is where your red blood cells will be produced. Sel-sel darah dihasilkan dalam sumsum tulang. Dan antara fungsi tulang keras, antara fungsi compact bone adalah untuk penghasilan sel-sel darah. And fifth function of your compact bone is to play a part in homeostasis. Homeostasis means badan kita cuba kekalkan suatu persekitaran dalaman yang constant, yang tidak berubah. Okay, homeostasis is how your body maintains a constant internal environment. Contoh dia, badan kita perlu pastikan dalam darah, kandungan kalsium dalam darah mesti dalam level ini. Kalau terlebih atau terkurang, badan kita akan cari cara untuk pastikan dia naik balik kepada level yang sepatutnya. So that is how compact bone plays a part in homeostasis. When your blood doesn't have enough calcium, dalam darah kamu tidak cukup kalsium berenang-renang, badan kita akan keluarkan kalsium daripada tulang keras kita. Okay, if it's too low, we take calcium out of our bones and put it back to the normal level. If the amount of calcium in your body is too high, then our body will take that calcium and put it in our bones so that the level in your blood is at that normal level. Okay, so itu adalah 5 fungsi untuk compact bone. Okay, so we are going to shrink my head. Kita kecilkan kepala saya. Let us try to draw the compact bone. So here I start with the Haversian canal. Okay, I draw 2 rings over here. And then I am going to draw the lacuna with the osteocyte inside. Mari kita lukis. Lacuna, 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 osteocyte, osteocyte. Okay, yang hitam itu adalah sel dia, yang putih itu adalah ruang kosong, the lacuna. And then I will draw the lamella. Okay, ini menunjukkan ini adalah satu lapisan matrix. And then I draw more lacuna and more cells. And I draw the second lamella. Saya lukis lapisan matrix yang kedua. And then I'm going to draw the canaliculi. Saya akan lukis terusan-terusan kecil atau terowong-terowong kecil yang menghubungkan semua lakuna kepada Haversian Canal. There we go. You want me to do that again? Can. Okay. So now I will label my diagram. This is the central canal or the Haversian Canal. This is the osteocyte inside. The lacuna is the hole. This is the canaliculi. Cuba lukis sendiri, cuba label sendiri. Kalau tidak pasti, boleh cek dengan saya. PM tepi. Okay, so that is it for compact bone. We are moving to the next type of connective tissue. It is the hyaline cartilage, which is found in this place. So let's look at the structure of the hyaline cartilage, ataupun kita boleh panggil dia sebagai tulang lembut. Okay, so the hyaline cartilage is elastic, rubbery, connective tissue made from collagen fibers and chondroitin sulfate. Elastic, rubbery means dia... I don't remember what is elastic. How do you translate elastic? Dia elastic, rubbery, seakan-akan getah. Okay, so basically you're saying it's elastic lah. Dia macam tidak keras. That's what we want to say. Dia terdiri daripada collagen fiber dengan chondroitin sulfate. Okay, and it has an abundance of collagenous fibers embedded in a rubbery chondroitin sulfate matrix. What you need to remember from here is dia punya matrix boleh dipanggil sebagai chondrin. Okay, you can call the matrix of the hyaline cartilage as chondrin, and it consists of collagenous fibers and chondroitin sulfate. Dia terdiri daripada collagenous fiber dengan chondroitin sulfate. These things are secreted by the chondrocytes. So, sel yang ada dalam cartilage adalah chondrocytes or cartilage cells. The chondroitin will give soft and elastic characteristic. The chondrocytes, the cartilage cells, are also found within lacuna. So, sel dia pun ada dalam satu ruang kosong atau lubang yang dipanggil sebagai lacuna. Okay, it's going to secrete and maintain the matrix dia yang hasilkan dan menjaga matrix tu. And in each lacuna, you can have 1 cell, 2 cell, or 4 cells. Okay, kadang kamu dalam satu lacuna tu kamu nampak 1 saja, kadang boleh nampak 2, kadang boleh nampak 4. Kamu tidak akan nampak 3 biji. Okay, it's always 1, 2, or 4. The chondrocyte is a living cell, and it will get its nutrients. It will get its nutrients from direct diffusion of nutrients and gas across the matrix. Kamu nampak tiada saluran darah di sini, sebab memang tiada saluran darah di sini. There's no blood vessels running through. So how these cells get their nutrition, how they get their oxygen, is by direct diffusion. So, zat-zat dalam badan kita dari darah dengan oksigen boleh meresap melalui matrix dan meresap keluar juga. Okay. So, a little bit of extra info. This might not be in the notes you find from the website. Chondroblast is the younger version of chondrocyte. Okay, dia adalah sel chondrocyte yang lebih muda. Fungsi chondroblast adalah untuk menghasilkan cartilage matrix ataupun chondrin. Fungsi chondrocyte bila dia sudah matang. Bila dia sudah matang, maksud dia chondroblast itu sudah diselubungi oleh matrix dan duduk di dalam ruangan kosong yang digelar sebagai lacuna. Chondrocytes are formed when a chondroblast is enclosed in a lacuna. The function of the chondrocyte is still more or less the same, just that it is it's going to continue to secrete and maintain the cartilage matrix or chondrin. So dia punya perbezaan adalah sama ada dia dalam lakuna atau tidak. Okay, so this is a diagram showing what your hyaline cartilage will look like under the microscope. Okay, kalau kita tengok dalam hyaline cartilage, di bawah mikroskop dia akan nampak macam gambar ini. This pink diagram on the left. There is an outer layer called the perichondrium. Near the perichondrium are the chondroblasts. And further away from the perichondrium is where you find the chondrocyte in lacuna and lots of the matrix. Perlu kamu hafal? Tidaklah. Tapi yang penting kalau kamu nampak soalan yang menggunakan gambar raja, kamu tahu bahawa gambar raja itu menunjukkan hyaline cartilage. So you don't have to memorize this. You just have to recognize this, be able to identify if you see it in the future. Okay, let's talk about the distribution and the function of hyaline cartilage. Tadi kita cakap pasal structure dia saja. Okay, so where can you find hyaline cartilage? Well, from the pictures here, you might be able to get a clue. You can find them at the tips of your nose, the rings that reinforce the windpipe, at the trachea, and at the caps on the ends of some bones. So, hidung kita, yang lembut ni, itu adalah hyaline cartilage. Trachea, kalau kamu pernah potong ayam lah kan, kamu sampai saluran udara dia tu ada part yang lebih keras, itu adalah hyaline cartilage. And on the caps of the ends of some bones. So, kalau kamu makan ayam juga, bila kamu sampai di dia punya sendi, okay, when you get to the joints of the chicken, there will be the hard bone and also the softer bone. Okay, yang kita panggil sebagai tulang lembut ataupun tulang licak yang putih-putih. Kamu boleh makan pada bahagian ayam itu adalah hyaline cartilage. So, in the diagrams down here, dalam gambar raja yang saya tunjuk di bawah, ni ada hidung, ada saluran pernafasan, ada telinga. But here I don't write anything about ears. Why do you think that is? Okay, it's because the cartilage on your ears are not hyaline cartilage. The cartilage that is on your ears are a different type of cartilage called elastic cartilage. So, saya sudah cakap, bukan 3 jenis ini saja connective tissue yang kita perlu, yang ada dalam badan kita. Cartilage pun bukan satu jenis saja, memang ada bermacam-macam jenis cartilage. The one that we are teaching you about with the chondrocyte is hyaline cartilage. Okay? Alright. Kalau dalam exam kamu terlupa tulis hyaline, macam masih okay lah. Tapi jangan tertulis nama cartilage yang lain. Okay, so what is the function of your hyaline cartilage? The function of your hyaline cartilage is for structure and flexible support. Dia memberi struktur kepada hidung kamu. Dia memberi struktur kepada saluran pernafasan kamu at your windpipe. And also for flexible support. Dia boleh menampung some things tapi dia tidaklah keras. Okay, so that's why flexible. Anjal. And it also covers the ends of bones and reduce friction between joints. So, kalau kamu punya cartilage di sendi-sendi kamu masih okay, akan kurang sakit-sakit sendi. Okay, I think I will move on. And I'm going to try drawing the hyaline cartilage. You can choose to draw or you can choose just to watch. Okay, I start with the perichondrium, a few layers, and then I draw the osteoblast and the osteocyte. Sini sudah osteocyte, ada yang 1, ada yang 2, ada yang 4. Dan kemudian saya akan label. Ini adalah perichondrium, chondroblast, matrix, chondrocyte, and lacuna. Okay, that is it for hyaline cartilage. I will move on and show you this table. You can compare the structural differences between the compact bone and hyaline cartilage. Memang dari segi nama pun kita boleh bandingkan. Satu adalah tulang keras, satu adalah tulang lembut atau kita bilang sahabat tulang lecak. Kamu boleh banding beza dia. Kalau dari segi persamaan, dia orang dua-dua connective tissue lah. Dia ada matrix, dia ada sel yang hasilkan matrix. Tapi dari segi perbezaan, kita boleh tengok dalam gambar raja ni. Kamu boleh bandingkan dia punya matrix keras kan, lembut. Sel dia panggil apa? Saluran darah adakah tidak? Saraf adakah tidak? Sistem limpa adakah tidak? Dalam satu lakuna berapa sel? Lakuna dihubungkan dengan apa ataupun tidak berhubung langsung, dan dia punya matrix terdiri daripada apa. Okay, so these are the types of structural comparisons that you can do between the compact bone and the hyaline cartilage. Okay, I shall move on, and we will go into the next type of connective tissue, blood tissue. Okay, so ini kamu tidak, you're no stranger to blood tissue. Okay, you know what blood is, and you know that in your blood you have red blood cell, white blood cell, and also platelets. Saya hairan kalau ada antara kamu yang tidak tahu lagi dalam darah ada lebih daripada sel darah merah saja. So let us continue. Okay. So we start by talking about the structure of the red blood cell. Saya pasti ini kamu sudah pernah belajar lah, jadi saya tidak mau ulang-ulang terlampau. Red blood cell has several structural adaptations so that it can better carry out its function. Ini adalah adaptasi dia dari segi dia punya penampilan, struktur, supaya dia boleh jalankan kerja dia dengan lebih bagus lah. So it has a biconcave disc shape to increase surface area to facilitate gaseous exchange. It has an elastic membrane to allow red blood cells to pass through narrow blood capillary. It has no nucleus when it is mature so that it has more space for hemoglobin storage, and your red blood cells do not contain mitochondria. So they do not conduct aerobic respiration, and this is good. It's good that your red blood cell does not conduct aerobic respiration because the oxygen that it will carry will not be used up. Dia yang angkat oksigen kan? So, sebab dia tidak melakukan aerobic respiration, oksigen yang dia angkat tu tidak terguna atau tidak terluput. Yeah, it doesn't have. That's what's special about red blood cells. Okay. So, the function of red blood cell or erythrocyte, as you already know, is to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. Ini rupa dia dari atas. Ini rupa dia kalau kita potong dia separuh dan tengok dari tengah. The next type of cell that you will find in your blood tissue is leukocyte. So, sini ada dua ejaan untuk leukocyte. Dua-dua pun betul. Sama ada kamu guna C ataupun K. Tapi pastikan CYTE menggunakan C. So, leukocyte or white blood cell. How is the structure of your white blood cell? Each white blood cell will have nuclei. Means dia ada nucleus, and there are two classes of white blood cell. Kita boleh bahagikan dia kepada dua kelas, iaitu granular and agranular. The granular ones are neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils. The agranular ones are lymphocytes and monocytes. And you can compare between red blood cell and white blood cell. Ni pandai-pandai kamu buat perbandingan sendiri. Okay, so what is the function of your white blood cell? Lawan kuman. Okay, fungsi sel darah putih adalah untuk lawan kuman. So it defends the body against disease-causing microorganisms. Monocytes and neutrophils are phagocytes, which engulf and digest bacteria and debris from our own dead cells. Apa maksud ayat kedua ni? Monocyte dengan neutrophils adalah jenis sel darah putih yang digelar sebagai phagocyte. Phagocyte bermaksud dia adalah sel yang akan makan dan hadam bakteria ataupun sel-sel badan kita yang sudah mati. What about lymphocytes? Lymphocytes become specialized as B cells and T cells, which produce the immune response against foreign substances. So lymphocyte dia akan specialize jadi B cell dengan T cell. Dan cara dia lawan kuman berbeza dengan phagocyte. Dia tidak makan, tapi adalah cara dia untuk membunuh. You can Google more about how B cells and T cells will produce immune response, or you can wait until next semester where we will learn about it. But the clue is that it produces antibodies. Okay. All right. I think that should be it for the function. Okay. So here you can see the 5 major types of leukocytes and how they look like under the microscope. So dari segi, kalau kita tengok diagram dia, ini adalah sel darah putih yang granular. Granular bermaksud bila kita tengok dia di bawah mikroskop, dia nampak macam dia ada banyak biji-biji dalam dia punya cytoplasm. Basophil, eosinophil, neutrophil. So kita tengok sini, basophil, eosinophils, and neutrophils. Nampak macam banyak hitam-hitam berkedut-kedut dalam dia punya cytoplasm. Agranular white blood cells, such as monocytes and lymphocytes, they have things in their cytoplasm, but it doesn't look very granular. So, di bawah mikroskop, dibandingkan dengan 3 yang tadi, tidak berapa nampak dia punya bintik-bintik hitam-hitam dalam cytoplasm dia. Okay. Do you have to memorize this? Ingat sajalah dia ada bahagikan kepada 2 kategori. Okay, and now we're moving to the third type of cell that you can find in blood tissue. This is platelets. Platelets are fragments of cells that are about 2 to 3 micrometer in diameter. So, dia agak kecil. Size dia lebih kurang 2 hingga 3 micrometer. Fragments means cebisan ataupun serpihan. Oh ya, serpihan-serpihan sel. Itulah dia hodo. So they don't have any nuclei. They originate as pinched off cytoplasmic fragments of large cells in the bone marrow. Apa maksud ayat ketiga ini? Dia berasal daripada sel besar dalam sumsum tulang. Cara dia terpisah daripada sel-sel besar dalam sumsum tulang adalah pinch off means dia dicubit daripada cytoplasm sel besar itu. Okay, so if this is the large cell in the bone marrow, kalau ini adalah sel besar dalam sumsum tulang itu, cara dia hasilkan platelets adalah dia cubit sikit, memanjang. Dia cubit sikit, cubit sikit, cubit sikit, cubit sikit, cubit sikit, cubit lagi, and then you will end up with all these small fragments. So, kamu akan ada serpihan-serpihan yang kecil macam ini. Ini adalah cara platelet kamu dihasilkan. Okay, so what is the function of platelets? They play a role in blood clotting. So, kalau kamu berdarah, macam mana badan kamu menghentikan pendarahan? Dia menggunakan platelet untuk hentikan pendarahan, blood clotting. Okay, so let's draw each of the types of cells. This is how you draw erythrocytes. Kalau kamu lukis erythrocyte, saya perlu bagi amaran, jangan kasih hitam di tengah dia. Kalau kamu kasih hitam di tengah, seolah-olah kamu memberikan dia nukleus. Jadi kalau lukis erythrocyte, lukis begini aja. Lukis oval or circle shape and you put a curve or something in the middle. Or another circle. And then I'm going to draw a basophil. I'll draw is your eosinophils and this neutrophil. Okay, kalau kamu mau coba lukis pun boleh. Ini adalah monocyte. Ini adalah lymphocyte. Juga boleh digelar sebagai B cell dan T cell. And of course, I am going to produce the little babies, which is the platelets. Okay. I know you have seen this before. Some of you, maybe a lot of you, will watch animes or cartoons or whatever you want to call it. For this thing, this specific anime, kamu boleh tengok. Sebab anime ini, dia memang hasilkan karakter, fakta-fakta yang ada dalam rancangan dia pun memang agak tepat. So this anime is quite accurate in how it designs its characters and how it describes the cells, the tissues, the functions of these tissues. So kalau kamu tengok ini, tidak bolehlah mama kamu marah ya. Tapi jangan gunakan ini sebagai alasan untuk tengok banyak anime tidak siap kerja. Okay, that is all I have to say for cells at work. If you watch this show and you can remember the points better, good for you. If you watch this show and you become lazier, not good for you. Okay, moving on. All right, so this is a quick summary of what we learned about in 2.3 connective tissues in animals. So, yeah, okay, this is quick summary saja lah. Okay, kamu pandai-pandai tengok sendiri. Alright, what should you do now? Now you should make your own notes. Saya tidak paksa kamu untuk buat latihan part ini. Kamu buat nota sendiri. Buatlah nota untuk connective tissue. Coba untuk banding bezakan compact bone dengan hyaline cartilage. At the same time, think about the matrix of each type of connective tissue we talk about. Okay, coba ingatlah mana satu adalah matrix dia. We will go over this again in our next tutorial, and until then, happy learning. Thank you and goodbye.